Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Ready or Not, released in 2019. Ready or Not is full of heightened characters and pitch-black comedy, as it takes the idea of unlikable in-laws to a whole new level. The woman about to inherit a new family is Grace, played by Samara Weaving, the effervescent star of The Babysitter. And lest you forget, Samara Weaving, niece of Hugo Weaving, is an Aussie, which means she rocks out all of these roles while doing an impeccable American accent.
Weapon of choice for Grace in this scenario is whatever she can get her hands on.
Grace is marrying Alex Ledomas, whose family members are stinking rich and full of stink eye. Their wealth began when their ancestor, a 19th century gaming magnate, struck a Faustian bargain with a mysterious figure named LaBelle. And due to that arrangement, the Ledomases have a tradition whenever new people join the family. All they have to do is play a game on their wedding night. Upon completion, they're part of the family. Or dead. I mean, it's one of the two, so flip that coin, Grace! Since this Ledomas ritual was started so long ago, the current benefactors aren't even sure if it's real or not. That uncertainty not only adds an air of mystery to the movie, but is also a great way to create conflict between all these spoiled, petulant blue bloods. Although some viewers found Ready or Not a bit too comedic, I think it does a great job blending action and humor and keeping a consistent tone throughout. It's more outwardly funny than You're Next, which it's sometimes compared to, but that makes sense. These characters are much less realistic than their counterparts in that film, which, to be clear, is not a bad thing here. The ensemble cast feels perfectly in harmony, each player bringing a unique and pointed sense of humor to their character. And guiding the performers were co-directors Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who, along with producer Chad Vallea, make up Radio Silence, a film collective responsible for a couple of horror movies and one of the segments in VHS.
We collectively are Radio Silence.
I had a great time watching Ready or Not, even if a lot of it was spoiled by the trailer. If you're even thinking about watching it before this kill count, I recommend you pause this video and follow through. It's a lot of fun, and it's also one of those movies where I can't include all the funny lines because there are just too damn many of them.
I'll meet you downstairs, music room.
Ah, yes, a totally normal room to have in a house.
Let's find out how many dead bodies it takes to pay for a honeymoon and get to the kills. The movie begins with a devil man face on the cover of a game, LaBelle's Gambit. We find ourselves in a mansion with lots of games on display, and it's through these halls that young brothers Daniel and Alex Ledomas run around frantically, until the younger Alex is placed in a wardrobe to hide. A dude named Charles runs into Daniel, hurt, and asks the young lad to help him hide.
He's in here!
Aw, that's not helping Daniel. At least it's not helping Charles, as he's surrounded by masked figures. As his new wife Helene cries out, Charles is shot with a crossbow, then hauled off to die. We don't get to see his actual death behind these Ledomas doors, but just take it from Helene's somber expression. He did. 30 years later, that little hiding boy Alex is now a man, and today is the day of his wedding. He's marrying Grace, who grew up in foster homes and is eager to inherit a family. Too bad she thinks the Ledomases hate her, partially because she and Alex have only been together for a year and a half. He tells her it doesn't matter. Although his family is rich, they also suck, which is why he's been estranged from them the past 2 years. In fact, his family sucks so much, is Grace sure she wants to join it?
I'm giving you an out. Right now.
No, thank you. I'm all the way in.
Alright, Grace, your call. The only Ledomas that Alex likes even a little bit is his older brother Daniel, played by Adam Brody, last seen on the kill count being wasted in Scream 4. Daniel's got a minor case of douchey older brother syndrome and a more moderate case of alcoholism, but at least he's complimentary of Grace.
You don't belong in this family. I mean that as a compliment.
That cannot be said of the rest of the Ledomases, who stare daggers into the bride whenever they're not openly voicing their displeasure.
You could have done so much better.
Aunt Helene here is especially grumpy cat looking, but you can't really blame her. I mean, she had to come all the way from the cube to get here. Alex's mom, Becky, played by Andie MacDowell, is kinder to Grace than most of the other family members. Becky reassures her soon-to-be daughter-in-law that she too came from a lower class and married into all this wealth, which allows her to offer some unique advice.
Stand tall
and fuck them.
Oh, that's nice. The wedding itself is certainly nice, and just like that, Alex and Grace are husband and wife. That night, before they can get consummated, Alex tells Grace they've got a tradition to tend to.
At midnight, you have to play a game. It's just something we do when someone new joins the family.
It'll be a randomly drawn game, and Grace doesn't even have to win it, she just has to play. After that, she'll be a Les Domas. Stevens, the family butler, plays Grace into the music room where the rest of the family is waiting. In addition to Alex's older brother Daniel, his mama Becky, and his aunt Helene, this family also includes Alex's coked out younger sister Emily, her fart-huffing husband Fitch Bradley, their two shitty little house-spawn kids, Daniel's prissy wife Charity, and of course, the family patriarch, Alex's dad, Tony. They all vary in their sentimentality.
Aunt Helene, it's nice to see you. Brown-haired niece. You continue to exist.
They head into the super special game room, a living legacy of their family's ancestry. Tony tells the tale of how his great-grandpa Victor started a company selling playing cards during the Civil War era, and how the subsequent generations of Les Domases expanded the business into sporting goods, board games, and pro sports teams. I'm a huge board game fan myself, so it was great to see the attention and care given to the Les Domases' fictional products. The boxes portray board games made by the family from throughout the ages, from the Victorian era to the 1960s to today. They were created by assistant art director Laura Hochstad, and I am seriously impressed by how believable they all look. I mean, yowzers wowzers! Tony tells Grace that the Les Domas' success all began with a benefactor, a dude named LaBelle who met great-grandpa Victor on a ship one time. LaBelle owned this puzzle box right here, and bet Slick Vic that he couldn't solve it. But Victor did figure out how the Cenobite phone worked, and in exchange, LaBelle funded his business endeavors. Ever since then, new Les Domases are inducted to the family in a process that begins with putting a blank card into LaBelle's box.
Then, drawing the card, and Mr. LaBelle will tell us which game to play.
The result can be almost anything.
I got chess.
I got Old Maid. Seriously, what the fuck is Old Maid?
And when Grace draws her card, it says hide and seek. Too bad it doesn't say the make a shit your pants face game. Alex would have won right away. Tony explains the rules to Grace. She'll hide anywhere inside the house, and after a count of 100, the family members will try to find her. And don't you worry about those security cams, Grace.
We never use the cameras. We always play the games as they would have been played in great-grandfather's time.
With that, she's off to hide. Let's get some mood music for the festivities.
Don't you speak, hide and seek.
As Grace runs around, we get a better look at the Les Domas residence, a lot of which was filmed at the Parkwood Estate in Oshawa, Ontario, which was also used for a little movie called Billy Madison. I hear it's pretty quotable. Other parts of the mansion were played by Casa Loma, a 20th century castle in Toronto that was also Xavier's School for Gifted Students. Chelsea and I visited Casa Loma when we were in Toronto for SummerSlam, and I highly recommend a visit if you're ever there. Do the audio tour if you can. Casa Loma and the other shooting locations all play into Radio Silence's very hands-on approach to the movie's aesthetic. I love how old money everything looks, from the polished wood to the golden glow of all the candles everywhere. Production designer Andrew Stern helped achieve the perfect warm look, and all this attention to detail, just like with the art design, helps make Ready or Not one of my favorite horror movies of the year. While Grace hides herself in a dumbwaiter, Tony hands out weapons to all the Les Domases. Helene gets a battle axe, while most of the others get guns, though sadly, none of them peacemakers. Still, better than the crossbow that Fitch gets stuck with. As that amazing hide-and-seek song ends, these perfectly defined characters line up to kick the movie into Act 2 fun and games.
Ready or not, here I come.
Alex isn't partaking, and instead, after everyone else has left to hunt around for Grace, he takes some servant passages through the house back to his room. Grace gets bored waiting in the dumbwaiter and also makes her way back to the room, where Alex tells her to hush and hides her when they hear one of the maids approaching. The newly married couple watches as a Les Domas maid named Clara gets shot right in the face. Yeah, Grace, this shit's for real. The shot was fired by little sis Emily, who thought Clara was Grace. A mistake mistake her family members roundly chastise her for making.
You're supposed to maim her. She needs to be alive for the ritual.
It takes Clara a minute, but eventually she dies, leaving her body to be dealt with indignantly by Tony and Helene. Learning the stakes of this game has left Grace in shock, and down in the tunnels, Alex explains that hide and seek was the one bad card she could draw. Any other game, like chess, would have been played as normal, but the hide and seek card kicks off a ritual, one where his family must murder her by sunrise. And there was no way to avoid this. Drawing a card from LaBelle's box is the only way they could have gotten married.
There are rules. You can't just elope. You have to have the wedding here, and you have to play the fucking game.
Grace is rightfully pissed at him for not warning her about this possibility, and Alex's excuse exposes his selfishness.
If I told you, you would have left.
Yeah, man, probably. He assures her they're going to get out of this together and sends her down the service tunnel towards the kitchen, while he heads to the security room to unlock all the doors. Yeah, probably a good time to lose some of that tool, Grace. Upgrade complete. Just like with the production and art design, the costuming department in this movie was on point. Designer Avery Plewis tailored each outfit to the character's personality, like a no-nonsense column dress for the practical Becky, or a tux with Godfather-like high collars for patriarch Tony. Her best work, though, was with Grace's wedding dress, which acts as a, quote, roadmap of events that have happened to her.
I wanted to create something that had a lot of coverage, texture, and length so we could take away a lot in several different stages. I think there's about 17 versions.
The continually degrading condition of Grace's dress is another great runner in the film, and is even a little symbolic, as discussed by Chelsea and me in our review on the Dead Meat podcast. At the end of the service tunnel, Grace picks the wrong door, putting her right in the crosshairs of her new in-laws. Like, literally. Good thing Emily's a shit shot.
I don't know what I'm doing!
Melanie Scrofano is so goddamn awesome in this movie. And hey, she's another kill count graduate, having been in Saw 6 as part of the shotgun merry-go-round trap. Grace gets away from them, but with everything still locked, Daniel ends up finding her in the game room. Just like when he was a kid, Daniel has to decide whether to help or not. And just like when he was a kid, he decides to let his family know where their prey is. But at least adult Daniel, who truly likes Grace and is majorly conflicted, is willing to give her a 10-second head start. Better than nothing. After Daniel calls out to the others, his wife Charity is the first to arrive, and she berates him for letting Grace go. They have a great little scene where even Charity, this relatively peripheral character, is given a backstory and justification for why she's so willing to go along with all this.
You know where I came from and what my life was like before. I'd rather be dead than lose all of this.
The fleshed out ensemble cast is my absolute favorite part of this movie, especially with everyone being so well acted. Charity's actor, Elise Levesque, is also excellent in that Pilgrim episode of Into the Dark, which we reviewed on the podcast for Thanksgiving this year. The rest of the family convenes, and Fitch says he hasn't been able to figure out his crossbow, not even with the help of YouTube videos starring the film's writers Guy Busick and Ryan Murphy. No, not that Ryan Murphy. Fitch gives the weapon to Emily, who immediately unloads a bolt into another maid's mouth. Just like with Clara, the second maid, Tina, doesn't die right away, and Aunt Helene has to put the poor girl out of her misery with her battle axe.
Oh, what the fuck?
With Dawn steadily on its way, Becky suggests that the family use their security cameras, and Tony immediately proves willing to bend their rules of traditional gameplay.
I mean, it's not tradition that he was born before cameras. That's stupid.
Exactly. Times change.
Ah, so this is a family of loose constructionists, huh? On her way to the kitchen, Grace stops to arm herself up like a big game hunter. And while this kick-ass bride soldier may be the image you saw on the movie poster, don't expect Grace to immediately adapt to that persona.
Jesus.
As brave and resilient as she is, Grace is not like Erin from You're Next, and she shouldn't have to be. But that is why she forgets to load the gun before trying to shoot her way out through the kitchen door. Grace is forced to hide as the butler Stevens comes in to do kitchen stuff. After Alex finally gets all the doors unlocked though, Grace takes her newly loaded gun and points it at Stevens in an effort to make him let her go. He won't move out of the way though, and once again, the gun fails to fire.
The ammunition is display only.
Yeah, well so is this teapot, and that seemed to work just fine. A game of blindy swipey blocks Grace from getting out, and she ends up running back to the dumbwaiter, where she finds the third maid, Dora, hiding in fear. Grace tries to help her, but Dora instead calls out to the Ladomases to put an end to all this craziness. She accidentally hits the dumbwaiter button, and the doors close with enough force that it kills her via crushing. That's how you can tell this house was built 100 years ago. They just don't give dumbwaiter doors that same kind of bone-crunching strength anymore. During all this, Alex has been having a fucking time of it, man. After smashing all the security cameras and getting into a serious fight with his dad, he finds himself handcuffed to a bed to stop him from helping Grace anymore. Tony is muy disappointed in his son, although Helene tells him not to worry. Alex was born to lead the family.
And why is he the only one of us who has ever seen Mr. LaBelle in his chair?
She knows how hard hide and seek must be for him too, because in case you didn't figure it out, or just forgot, Helene was the bride in the beginning whose husband drew the hide and seek card and wound up getting murdered. Grace is determined not to end up like that guy, and is even willing to follow a few stories if it means getting out of here alive. She reverse weddings her way through the backyard and runs as fast as she can, but a flashlight's peering beam forces her to hide in the stable. Turns out the searcher is just one of Emily and Fitch's kids.
Georgie?
Oh shit! Hiya, Georgie! Unfortunately for Grace, Georgie takes out a gun and lands himself a headshot. After a moment of shock, Grace punches the kid in the face and knocks him out. Haha, yeah, Grace! Watch out for that goat, though! Oh man, I told you to watch out for that goat! Now you're in a gross pit filled with goat bones. Aw, and people bones? Oh hey, it's Charles, Helene's late husband. He always wore his bolts so well. Despite having a hole in one hand, Grace climbs her way out of the pit, leading to what may be the movie's most painful scene to watch. See that nail sticking out right there? Yeah, Grace doesn't. So ready or not, here it comes! Oh my god, that just hurts to see. But she powers through the pain and gets herself out of there. Good for her. After a wedding dress dressing and a cursing of the kid who shot her, fucker! Grace is good to go and makes her way out to the front gate of the estate. It takes some elbow grease and a gritty resolve, but eventually Grace escapes the Ladomas grounds. Just sucks for her that the local drivers aren't eager to be helpful. What the fuck is wrong with you? With Stevens on the prowl, Grace heads into the woods. While back at the house, Tony grows more concerned over the ever-increasing possibility that Grace will survive the night. He believes that if she does, the rest of the family will all die, even though Daniel's not convinced that the curse is legit.
You think that this is a fucking game?
Yes. Hide and seek.
Daniel and Emily are put on maid cleanup duty, and after dumping their bodies into the goat pit, they find Georgie, right where Grace's fist left him. Emily says she's proud of him for trying to kill Grace. Daniel experiences something different than pride. Stevens finds Grace on the other end of a little woodsy area, but after a short scuffle, Grace manages to use her sash to choke the guy out, then gets in his car and drives away. Too bad she didn't double tap him though, because if she had, he wouldn't have been able to report the car as stolen. Since it's a fancy pants car, it's shut down remotely by a security operator named Justin, voiced by Nat Faxon.
Police are on their way.
Start the fucking car!
Okay, there's no need for profanity.
Start the car, Justin!
Stevens catches up to Grace and gives her a dose of dart juice to knock her out. He reports back to the family that he's inbound with the payload, but the obsequious bastard is too busy jamming out to Beethoven to notice when Grace comes to. After a few kicks to the face, Stevens drives the car off-road and flips it over. The violent crash is depicted in slow-motion upside-down shots, and when they finally finish, the lickspittle is dead. Grace crawls out of the accident and is immediately found by Daniel. And although she pleads for help once more, appealing to his good guy nature, Daniel says he's too weak to help her and reluctantly knocks her out. Grace has been recaptured, with Dawn only an hour away. So if Alex wants to help her out, he'd better work faster with those cuffs. He hides his prison breaking when his mother Becky comes in to tell him that although she likes Grace, they have to protect the family. Alex says fuck the family, they're weird and had him sacrificing goats as a child. Grace is way more chill and doesn't make him cut any goat throats, so he'd rather be with her than his family. But Becky says she doesn't believe him, and she knows deep down he's still Mama's little boy. The ritual is about to begin, so the family members prepare for it, each in their own special ways.
Don't be a bitch, Fitch. Don't be a bitch, Fitch. You got this,
bitch.
I think that was actually an ad-lib by actor Kristen Broom, who I know from Orphan Black, which had a ridiculously good first season. The final ritual preparation is placing LaBelle's box in front of LaBelle's empty chair. Grace then wakes up to find herself tied down to a pentagram table, everyone around her looking like your standard horror movie cult. See also The Curse of Michael Myers. The ceremony begins, and although it's sometimes distasteful, it seems to be going well, until everyone starts getting some seriously rumbly tummies. Spitting out blood? General fatigue? Oh, I know what your problem is. Poisoned! Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Daniel has poisoned his family to help Grace escape, although not enough to kill them, as he tells her in the hallway.
I googled it. They'll shit weird for a week, but they'll be fine.
On their way out, they're stopped by Charity, who holds them at gunpoint. She is all fucking in on that sweet Le Domas lifestyle, so when her husband doesn't back down, she shoots him in the neck. Things get crazy for Mo, so I'll just list them here real fast. Charity gets pistol whipped, Tony gets lantern whipped, a house fire gets started, and there's an attempted bow and arrowing by Becky.
In my defense, it's been a while.
Whew. Alex breaks free and comes downstairs to find Daniel bleeding out to death in the hallway. Despite his urgent pleas for Daniel not to die, that's exactly what his older brother does. Alex isn't thrilled to lose his favorite family member, and come to think of it, he's not even sure who to blame for the death. Grace fights with her mother-in-law, who's determined to keep her family safe. But with a little help from LaBelle's box, Grace turns this night into 1 wedding and 4 funerals. Or 6 funerals? Whatever. Calm down though, Grace. Becky was only doing this for her family. Fuck your fucking family! Haha, yeah, you right. Fuck her fucking family. It's in this murderous state that Alex finds Grace. When they last saw each other, these newlyweds were still plotting to escape together. But now, things are a little bloodier and a whole lot messier between them.
You won't be with me after this, will you?
No man, probably not. Grace never says that, but sensing that sort of answer from her, Alex puts his hands around her face and calls out for his family. You knew his betrayal was gonna happen eventually, but you still feel awful for Grace when it does. Almost as awful as Tony feels when he finds his wife's body. With the sun just about up, there's no time to put the mansion fire out. This ritual has got to go down. So gather up the children and hold down the bride. We needs to get Rosemary's baby up in this bitch.
Hail Satan! Hail Satan!
With a final Hail Satan, Alex goes to stab Grace, but she's able to wrest free enough to take it in her shoulder instead. One banshee scream later, and Grace is able to run out the clock enough to score a victory by countout. Cause it's daylight, motherfuckers! Better hide! Right? Aren't y'all supposed to die now? They didn't. Got anything to say for yourself, Invisilabelle?
I fucking knew it. It's all bullshit.
Bullshit or not, Helene still got that murder lust, so she goes to kill Grace anyway.
The girl still dies!
Oh shit, the curse was real! Must have gotten caught in traffic or something. The hide-and-seek record begins to play as LaBelle's curse spreads to the rest of the family. The newbies go first, with Fitch and then Charity popping like blood pimples, shortly followed by Emily and her 2 kids, though that happens tastefully off-screen. Grace begins to crack up as the curse catches up with Tony too, which she finds so funny she could snort. Is it a sudden ending? Kinda. Is it unsatisfying? Hell no! After all that doubt, the curse was shown to be real. It's also great that these kills were done, at least partially, with practical effects. Charges of fake blood and guts were blown up atop of chroma green stands, and the actors, in the wake of the explosions, were shot with little meat rifles. For the off-screen deaths, they got to use big ol' meat cannons filled with fake blood and mushed bananas. The cast all seemed to have a great time with the scene, and not just because the fake blood tasted like caramel.
Christian, the first thing he asked was, can I get some in my mouth? And I was like, oh no, don't worry, it's non-toxic if any. And he goes, no, I wanna get it in my mouth because I wanna do a thing where I spit it out. Is that okay? And this was, I think, day 4 we were shooting and I went, oh, we're gonna be fine.
It really looks like Radio Silence ran a fun and effective shoot altogether for this movie, so props to them and their on-set leadership. Alex sticks around the longest and tries to make Grace stay with him, but she is just done with this shit.
I want a divorce.
He's the last Le Domas to burst, leaving Grace all alone with nothing but blood on her face. Unless maybe she's not alone. Yo, did I just see LaBelle?
Fuck.
Right? In the original screenplay, though, Grace died in the end, and it was Radio Silence who wrote a 12-page alternate ending to please the crowd and go out on a fun note. I'm glad the producers agreed to do it, even though it meant a lot more work. Grace's hard-fought success here feels more congruent with the film's tone, as does the fact that the movie ends with a joke.
What happened to you?
In-laws.
How many rich in-laws couldn't take it with them when they went? Let's find out and... Oh my god. Why is that playing? I haven't even had my wedding yet. Am I hiding or seeking? Am I hiding or seeking? 15 people died in Ready or Not, and with 8 guys and 7 ladies, the victims were nearly evenly split. With a runtime of 95 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 6 1/3 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to everyone who blew up in the end. It's a solid effect and an excellent climax to the whole "is this curse real?" question. Great job with those kills, Mr. LaBelle. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Dora, the 3rd maid who died in the dumbwaiter. Felt kind of out of nowhere, and 100-year-old construction or not, I'm skeptical that those doors could crush her like that. And that's it. Ready or Not came out in 2019 and is a great example of how lively the horror genre is when it comes to original ideas. Sure, there are a lot of remakes and sequels, but we still get cool shit like this pretty regularly. Next week is It Chapter 2, holy shit! But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. I want to thank some patrons like Jabby White, Ty McCandless, Dion Peshlikai, Patrick Fitzgerald, Explicipoo, and Betsy Henderson. If you happen to stop the Kill Count and watch the movie first, let me know in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the Dead Meat subreddit. It's a lot of fun over there, and you also get behind the scenes information like schedules and stuff. Thanks everyone, be good people.